Hello and welcome to Movie Trailer Trash. We just watched the trailer for Fences.
It's a movie all about fences.
That's right, baby. It's time for Movie Trailer Trash. Enjoy.
As Charlie mentioned,
I'm Charlie.
we just watched the trailer for Fences. I'm Bethany, and this is Movie Trailer Trash.
Welcome.
It is not just a movie all about fences.
No, surely not.
That was misleading.
Fences are involved, I would assume, though.
Oh, I mean, there's clearly fences involved.
He had a pole, hole. What is that called? A pole holer?
Oh gosh,
Post holer?
Post holer.
Yeah.
I was like, I actually know the name of that. Yeah, he had a post holer. He very clearly works some sort of job where he has to put fences up.
Yes.
It looked like maybe he also was a trash man.
Yeah, I think he had multiple jobs. And
I think
actually,
that's kind of the point.
that will lead in to kind of my big spiel about this. I want to get all this information out first, and then we can start talking
Go
about
ahead.
this. So, Fences. This was a play that was written by August Wilson in 1983. So fairly recent. It was a Broadway play, and the role of Troy, which is Denzel Washington's character in this, was originally played by James Earl Jones. It won a whole bunch of awards, and it's very famous. It's set in the 1950s in Pittsburgh, and it's about a father struggling to support his family.
It's about a lower class
And
family,
all of these
lower income
plays
family.
from August Wilson were about like race relations and African Americans dealing with life in that time period in the 50s and stuff like that. And so it's going to deal with that a great amount, but it's also going to deal with just like family stuff a great amount, you know, for lower income families. A couple of the interesting things about this movie specifically is, first of all, it's directed by Denzel Washington and stars Denzel Washington. And second of all, the actual screenplay for this movie is just the actual play. So they just use the actual play for the screenplay instead of writing a new script. And so this movie is going to be just the play, only, you know.
Yeah, except instead of having to be in one spot, they have a good set, they can go wherever.
And that scene that they show in the commercial, I've seen that scene before. I watched a video of a like side by side kind of James Earl Jones and Denzel Washington doing that scene.
So, was it a recording of James Earl Jones at doing the stage play?
Yeah.
Okay, because I was going to say, I don't know if I've ever seen it.
And Denzel doing the stage play.
Okay, I don't know if I've ever seen it, but when I was listening to Denzel just now in the trailer, and then when you said James Earl Jones, which I didn't know until just now, when you said that, I was just like, oh my God, I can picture him saying that, all of that.
Yeah.
Like, in fact, I think Denzel is really kind of doing an impersonation of him.
Well, it's cool because they're very different in the way they do it. You should watch it sometime.
Really?
Yeah, and I might even put it up on the website,
That
like
would be
underneath
great.
the video or something like that, so that you can see it.
I love James Earl Jones. I could totally see him doing that kind of role.
It's also kind of cool because this is one of 4 directing credits that Denzel Washington has. He also nominated for a decent amount of awards for that play when they brought it back. It was in 2010, so it was 6 years ago. It was actually a decent amount of time ago. And also Viola Davis.
Some people say Viola.
Viola Davis.
I don't know which one's.
Either or.
I don't know what she prefers.
She was also the person who played that role on Broadway as well.
Okay. So they wait with him?
Yeah.
So it's totally it's like Rent. When they made Rent into a movie, like a large majority of the cast came back from Broadway. Like there was 4 out of the main 8 people or something like that.
Right. Besides The Great Debaters, which he directed, some movie I'd never heard of, and 1 episode of Grey's Anatomy.
Well, there you go.
This is Denzel's probably,
Big opportunity.
yeah, big moment where he's directing and starring in something that he already, was successful in on Broadway and everything.
I mean, he did star in The Great Debaters too.
No, yeah, I know, but I mean, this
will probably be a big deal.
Yeah.
A bigger deal. I actually really want to see The Great Debaters. I saw a scene from it the other day. I don't know why I stumbled upon it and I was like, dang, that looks good.
Yeah.
I've never seen it. So we should go see that sometime. But so this movie looks good to me.
Well, here's the thing about the movie in general. Like, I think that this movie is just going to be like, go watch these amazing actors act with each other.
Yeah.
It's like I'm sure that the story
Well, that's kind of
is
what plays are.
right. Exactly. That's the kind of the difference between plays and movies. You know, is
Instead
like
of it being about a story, it's about characters.
it's about characters and. More importantly, how these people play these characters.
Yeah.
You're going to be like, I am so impressed by this person doing the things that they're doing.
Well, something that, okay, so first of all, neither of us have seen the play. So I think we should be upfront about that.
Except for that one scene.
Yeah, you've seen the one scene. But, okay, so I was in theater in high school, briefly, mostly in the musicals because I like to sing. You were not in theater, right?
I was not.
And you never went to any school plays or anything?
I was in my 5th grade play.
Okay, but you never went to see the school
Oh.
plays.
No.
Okay, so anyway, the thing that I really appreciated about theater, we had a really good theater department, and I would go and watch the plays most of my friends were in and stuff too. The thing that I really appreciate about most of the plays is because you're limited in space and in set. We had to build our own sets, so like you're very limited. So because of that, most plays are written to be very character focused and character driven, to where you can have entire scenes where it's just two people sitting on a bench,
Right.
but if they're good actors, they draw you in and they make it interesting, which is what's so interesting when you take a play and bring it to movie, because like you said, it's just going to be like the play, because there's no reason for them to like add special effects.
Right, which is not a bad thing. It's like 12 Angry Men.
Yeah.
It's not a bad thing
Exactly
that they were
like
just
that.
it was just 12 guys in a room the whole time. That's what makes that movie
That's an
so
incredible
amazing.
movie. Yeah. So I think that's kind of interesting, because a lot of times, especially in Hollywood, we get a bunch of movies where people spend a ton of money to make things explode and, crash expensive cars or whatever.
Unlikely there will be any explosions in this.
Well, yeah, but see what I'm saying is Hollywood a lot of times will do that, and then they won't put the effort or the time that they need into developing a character. They'll throw a script together. They won't care about character development or relationship development between the characters. So then you get like a kind of lame movie with cool effects. And I think we see a lot of that nowadays.
Yeah.
And it's disappointing. So I like it when you are forced to work with a type of script where there is no need for special effects, really. It's all just people and places, and all the things can be filmed right in front of you.
Well, and like I said, I don't even think that this will be that interesting of a story in general. I think that it's just
it's a story about people.
Yeah, it's not. I wouldn't want to say it's the same story you've seen a bunch of times done in a really good way, because it's not. It's just life done in a really good way. You know what I mean? Like there's not.
Well, yeah. If you've ever heard a story of somebody who grew up in poverty, like everyone's story is different and interesting in its own way, but you're right. It's just a story about basically a family, one particular family and their struggles in their life. I mean, that's what it looks like. Obviously, neither of us have seen the play, but that's what it looks like. And I think that's interesting. I think Denzel is going to be amazing, but when is he not? And Viola Davis, same situation. And I love that they acted together in the play, so that's kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know anything about the kid who's playing his son?
No, but I doubt that he is the same kid, because it was 6 years ago.
Oh yeah.
So.
Well, I was just curious if he was in anything else, but yeah, should be interesting. So, do you want to talk about where, when, and why we will see this movie? Where, when, and how we will see this movie?
We could talk about where, when, and why, and how in this next segment. Where, when, how. Are you gonna see this movie?
Okay. Would you like to begin?
Sure. Well, this one's hard though, because I mean, I kind of just started thinking about it.
Yeah.
So-
Okay. Here, let me begin.
All right.
Haha. I get to go first. Okay. So you're right. It is hard, because here's the thing. It's very, very clearly going to be a great movie. I think it's the type of movie where if you do go and see it in theater, you come out feeling like you could fly.
Wow.
Okay. That's dorky, but listen.
Glowing review.
No, listen. Seriously, though.
Seriously, I feel like I can fly.
No.
I feel like R. Kelly.
When you go see a movie that's very character driven and it shows people overcoming struggles and, in life and whatever, and it's very dramatic and whatever, you come out just feeling like, wow, I'm glad I saw that. It's kind of like I'm thinking like The Pursuit of Happiness, which is based on a real story. But this person is, you've never seen that, but this person is dealing with so many struggles, just insurmountable obstacles. But somehow they overcome it. And you just leave like, holy crap, that was good. It makes you think about how incredible life is. And, you know, it just makes, you're going to be thinking about it all night. You're going to be talking about it all night with the people you saw it with. So I could see going to see it in theater, but because there's no need to see it in theater.
Well, here's what I'm thinking.
Because there are no special effects. It doesn't need to be big.
I think it does need to be big. Because I think...
Disagree.
Wrong. I think that...
Who told you that?
I think that it needs to be big because I think that, like, so that scene they show in the trailer with Viola Davis just screaming with like snot and tears and all kinds of stuff on her face, that stuff needs to be like, whoa, like, you know, push you back into the back of your chair a little bit.
But I think it will be, because I think that their acting is going to be so good that you can see it on a TV and still get goosebumps.
No, yeah, I'm not going to say it's going to be bad on TV. I'm just going to say your experience will be enhanced in the theater.
Agreed.
Even though there's no special effects or, you know, whatever.
Agreed.
And I think that although you'll need to go, I think in the middle of the day, I think you need the rest of your day to kind of shake that off.
Yeah, it is a drama. Yeah, it's very clearly
it's going to be
drama.
really intense. And I mean, I keep comparing it to 12 Angry Men, just because it's like, it's one of those movies that's obviously done off of a play, or like at least in that style, that is just like ultra real, but also dramatic. You know what I mean? And I kind of compare it also, the feeling, not at all the story, to Glenn Ross.
Okay. Because it's just people talking.
It's completely different people.
Yeah.
From
different
completely
situation.
different lives and times and everything, but it's just like, it's just those people living their lives.
And dealing with their problems.
With each other in an explosive kind of way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and here's the thing, it's realistic, so it's not like, well, I don't want to bring another... It reminds me a lot of the Will Smith movies, 7 Pounds and Pursuit of Happiness, but it's not like those movies where it's like this great story, like this person doing this incredible thing. It's really like real life problems, that everyday problems. Yeah. And so...
well, I think that's kind of
also
it
might be kind of depressing.
It's kind of also the point that of writing this play that this guy was trying to make, was that you would have never noticed these people in a million years unless a play was written about them, unless a movie was made about them. And that's, I think, kind of what he's trying to do.
Well, yeah, like, okay, it's a blue-collar worker, a man who builds fences for a living and probably has multiple other jobs to support his family. And clearly there's going to be a whole bunch of drama, different things that happen with them. But the thing that I think is interesting, like you said, is when you take a closer look at just an average American family, you can see people who are inspiring. Like, I guess that's the idea, is like people that you might see on the street. Like, let's say it looked like he was a trash man. When you see your trash man go by, you probably don't think that there's anything that inspiring or wonderful about them, just because, you know, they're just an average person. But you don't know the kind of things they deal with at home and whatever, and you don't know their life. And so I think when you zoom in on an average American and show that, like, in a way, mediocrity can be incredible, to like survive, you know, to survive mediocrity, to be able to try and thrive in a place where you don't really have a lot of opportunity. It's kind of interesting. Yeah. So I think it'd be great in theater. I could see us going and see it in theater. However, I do agree, I would want to see it when the sun's still out.
Yeah, no.
Because I think it could be really depressing. Even if it ends happy or whatever, I don't know how it's going to end. But, you know, it's...
Someone listening out there who knows how it ends is just like, oh boy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's a drama and it's based on a play. So I would not be surprised if it ends pretty upsettingly, actually.
Right, yeah. But I mean, yeah, that one... if you go see that and then immediately go to bed afterwards, it's going to take like the rest of the week to shake it off. But if you go see it in the middle of the day, you can think about it, you can talk about it with people, and then you can shake it off. Maybe even watch an episode of The Office or
Have
two.
some laughs.
Near the end of the night. Just make sure you don't go to bed depressed.
But I think it's going to that. Well, okay. I'm just leading right into Rotten Tomatoes now. I was just about to
let's go
give
from
it
this,
away.
Let's go from this serious conversation into my ridiculous song that I made for this segment.
Rotten Tomatoes time.
Rotten Tomatoes percentages.
All right. So I was going to just go right into it. That's how excited I am to talk about what the critics are going to think.
Oh, really?
I think the critics are going to love it. I was going to say that, and then I was like, we got to do the song. But I think the critics are going to love it. Clearly, it's based on an awesome play.
Right.
It's been so successful.
Multiple awards.
We
both
know
times
that it's
it was
a good
on Broadway.
story.
Yeah.
We know it's a good story, and we know that Denzel Washington specifically, and Viola Davis are good did a good job in it, or they wouldn't have asked them to reprise their role in a movie.
Right.
I mean, well, maybe he
Well,
asked himself since
that
he's directing. I don't know the situation.
But the only reason I'm not worried about that at all is that if he just kind of took this play that he loved, that he was in, and was just like, I'm going to make a movie about this and no one can stop me because I'm famous
I'm
enough
Denzel
to
Washington.
do that and I can just do and I can do whatever I want. And the thing that makes me feel good about it is that, first of all, Viola Davis is in it. And secondly, they had to get the rights to this play from someone, August Wilson's estate or whatever, his family, whoever controls the rights to that play, in order to have it done. And so they obviously think that he's worthy of making this play great.
And so I think it's going to be fantastic.
Yeah, I do.
Award worthy.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be like, hey, let's all go out to a movie. What movie should we go see? Fences? All right. Two hours later. Oh, God.
Yeah, in fact, it's the type of movie a lot of people, at least people that I know, just probably because the crowd I hang around or whatever, but a lot of people I know don't go and see the award-winning movies because a lot of times they're really super heavy. Like, for instance, Spotlight, I think won Best Picture last year, or at least it was nominated. And Spotlight is a movie about, the team of journalists who exposed the Catholic Church for all of the priests that were touching little boys and stuff, and it was terrible. It's terrible, and it's upsetting, but it's a great movie. Award worthy, but it's one of those things where me and my friends, we don't typically go see them because those things are a downer.
Yeah, it seems weird to watch a movie like that with more than 3 people in the room. Maybe even just 2 people in the room.
No, the 2 is even weirder. I think you gotta have 3 to 5.
Well, it's not weird if you're in a relationship. If you just invited one of your guy friends over and you just sat and watched this movie, that would be kind of interesting. But
but the thing is, those movies are a lot of times really worth it. So I know a lot of people I hang out with are like, "Ugh, those award movies," especially when you can tell they're just trying to get an award. But I think that this one's not doing that. That's the thing. Sometimes they're just trying to get an award.
Well, yeah, it's kind of like
over
the whole
top
time,
artsy. They're not really that good. They're just pandering.
The whole
to
time
their
I was
audience.
watching The Revenant.
Yeah.
Which is a really good movie. You could tell that Leonardo DiCaprio was just doing this movie to win the award. I mean, there's a lot of movies that he's been in that he's great in and everything.
That he probably deserved an award in. But they were award type movies.
Right, exactly. They weren't award movies.
Which is silly. But yeah, so I think that a lot of times myself, I will wait until after the award winning stuff comes out and after I hear people talk about which ones they like, and then I'll watch it. Which is why I could see myself doing that, by the way, going back to if we don't see it in theater. But
I definitely want to.
So
I think I want to. Because at first when I was watching the trailer, I was just like, there's no way I'm going to see this in the theater. It's going to be way too depressing.
And then you talked yourself into it?
Yeah, just now. Because I just want to watch the performances. That's all. Let me check.
Okay. Well, while you're checking that, I think that the critics will give it in the high 80s. I'll say 87%. And that might be low, honestly. If it is as good as I think it will be, just based on the fact that it was an amazing play. Was it a Broadway play?
Yeah, both times.
So it's an amazing Broadway play, and it has amazing actors in it. If it goes wrong, then we will know that Denzel isn't a good director. We'll be like, how'd you screw this up? I don't think it can go wrong.
It is coming out this Christmas.
Oh, okay.
On Christmas Day.
Oh, wow.
Is when it's coming out.
That is not the day I'm going to see it.
Hey, but
I'll tell you that much. I am not going to watch this on Christmas Day. I will see it in theater.
Christmas
but not
morning?
On Christmas Day.
How about Christmas morning?
Christmas morning is she's like, Pop, why don't you like me? You think I don't like you, boy? It's just going to be, yeah.
I think that for the critics for this movie, it's going to just be a ultra home run for critics.
Yeah,
and it's going to get a 97%.
Ooh, 10 points higher than me. I feel you on that. Like I said, I might be lowballing it.
And I think that the audience is going to give it 93%. Who's going to go see this movie that doesn't want to see this movie?
I didn't get to say my audience score.
What is it?
Well, now I don't know.
Oh, boy.
I'm going to go for 95.
Well, you just one up me?
I think so. I'm nervous. Man, I'm sick of being wrong all the time.
You're not wrong all the time. I got to go through and look at the ones that we were
we got to
right
start
at
putting
more.
up some comparisons. But, yeah, I just, okay, like that movie came out recently, Sully, based on the pilot who had to land the plane in the river.
Yeah. It was also the monster in Monsters, Inc. Same person.
Okay, right. No. But yeah, so that movie came out and both of us were like, that's probably good, right? Yeah, that's good. It's got to be good. It's Tom Hanks. It's
Clint
based on a
Eastwood.
true story. It's a very interesting story. I'm pretty sure that movie is good. But both of us were like, yeah, we might see that in theater, but maybe not. Like it wasn't a priority.
Yeah, but there's a difference between that because
well, that's what
that
I'm saying
and this,
though.
because that's something that happened in our lifetime that we knew about, and we were just like.
But a lot of
all right.
times those movies get me really excited. And what
Like
I'm
I think that
is,
if that event would have never happened and this movie still would have been made exactly the way that it was, I would have been way more interested in it.
the plane landing.
Yeah.
Really? I
Yeah.
feel like I would have rolled my eyes and been like, that's unrealistic. And that's what makes it so cool is that it's not, that it happened. But anyway, okay, we're getting sidetracked. But I guess what I'm saying is, for as far as dramas go, a lot of times Charlie and I are not up for seeing him in the theater. So I think it's pretty surprising to me that Charlie was so adamant about it. And also I think it's good though. I think
I surprised myself.
Here's the thing. Aren't you proud? Here's the thing about Charlie and I. We like lots of kinds of movies. Action, comedy, drama. Especially we've recently, over the past 5 years of our relationship, gotten into indie films.
Mm-hmm. Horror movies?
He likes the horror movies. I don't mind the really, really, really good classic horror movies.
I'm not a big romance guy.
He's not a big romance
guy. But
guy.
I'm very okay with romance in other types of movies.
And he doesn't mind a great rom-com, but it has to be great like When Harry Met Sally. It's got to be one of the best. Same thing with me. So basically, okay, I'm just going into this for everyone to know.
Wow.
If I'm going to watch a horror movie, it better be like Psycho. It better be something that has been talked about forever. Same thing with Charlie. Like he's not going to just watch some rom-com that's coming out in theater. But if it's one that's been proven again and again and everybody seems to love it, we'll watch it. So we like a lot of movies, but the one thing that we don't do very often is the very serious, heavy drama.
Yeah.
And I mean, it makes sense, you know? We are happy people. We like to have a lot of levity in our life.
We have our heads in the clouds on a regular basis.
No, but like for instance, there are several dramas that I would like Charlie to see. And several that he would like me to see that we just haven't got around to. Because every time we think about it, we're like, do I want to be sad today? Charlie's never seen Schindler's
Spotlight.
List.
I still haven't seen Spotlight.
He's never seen Spotlight. He's never seen 7 Pounds or Pursuit of Happiness.
I am going to start a counter to keep track of how many times you mentioned both of those movies in one podcast. I think you've done it 4 to 5 times now.
Well, in fairness, it's hard to not think of one when you think of the other. Like I'm rarely going to mention 7 Pounds and not also mention Pursuit of Happiness.
That's what I'm saying.
But anyway, it doesn't matter. The point is those are all excellent movies. I would like Charlie to see them all. But it is hard to get yourself psyched up to see Schindler's List, specifically, especially.
We could watch Schindler's List.
It's terrible. We know it's terrible. We know these awful things happen. And it's like, yeah, but you should see it. It's so worth it. But it's hard to gear yourself up for it. And that's what it is.
We could watch Schindler's List, or we could watch 3 episodes of The Office and be super happy for the rest of the day. Or we could watch Luke Cage go defend Harlem. Like, that's an obvious choice.
Well, for right now, yeah, that's what we're doing. For all of you who are wondering.
Yeah, that's why I said that.
I kind of like that we waited until the very end of this podcast to go on our tangents, because usually we go on 1,000 different tangents in the middle of the podcast, but it's like you and I were so laser focused. We were like, let's get to the next part. Let's talk about Denzel Washington.
Well, it's weird.
And then we got caught up at the end.
I actually think it's because that's what that movie kind of forces you to do.
Yeah, what are you going to do? You're not going to like
demands
go
your
on.
attention. You
Absolutely.
know what I mean?
Yeah, like I love tangents. It's a part of who I am. And there was nothing I could say other than like focusing on the movie.
The Office Christmas Party trailer lends itself to tangents.
Yeah, exactly.
It allows the mind to wander.
Well, and just other movies, you know, when it reminds you of other stuff, this one's hard because It does. It looks like it's so specific to one family.
Well,
it's
yeah,
not
the
like
only thing that it
it's not like
reminded
it brings to mind other things.
the only
really.
thing it reminded us of was other movies based on plays, because you can kind of tell that style.
Yeah, which is I love that.
I mean, there's that Death of a Salesman movie that they made, but it's shot like on a stage, kind of.
Yeah, I don't.
It has,
I've
like,
never seen
sets
that.
and
I've
stuff.
never seen that, and I've never really been interested in it.
It's Dustin
Maybe I
Hoffman.
should. I
I mean,
don't know.
I think that story is probably pretty similar to this one,
Except
just as a story.
it's a salesman instead of a
And a white
It's
family.
a white collar worker instead of blue collar worker.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know
Working
if
in an
salesman was
office?
white collar back then.
Is it like door to door?
Yeah.
Oh well, whatever. I don't know. It just doesn't interest me. This one interests me way more. But then again, it's Denzel Washington, and he gave a monologue that was incredible.
Yeah.
In the trailer, and so that's the thing. Sometimes you just want to go and see people act their heart out, and you
also
want to
that was
just be impressed that a human being can come across that way.
That was
they
a
can do that.
great move on their part, putting the famous scene
Monologue.
from that in the trailer. Because, I mean, like, no one's going to be surprised by it when they go see it if they've seen that scene
Mhm.
before. Because I've never even seen the play, and I've seen that scene.
Yeah,
And that is like the ultimate draw you in, you know?
absolutely. And I like that it wasn't just the one monologue. They had a little back and forth between him and his wife too. That was really powerful. Like you said, she was like snotting and crying everywhere. And the thing is, that's legit.
Yeah.
You can't like have the makeup crew come in and like add a little snot and a little tears and make it look the way she just made it look. She was crying.
She was
That woman
snotting.
made herself cry because she was so dedicated to that character. And I bet you she cried every night on stage. And I bet you she's amazing. I'm so excited. So
I'm excited too.
yeah, let's go see it. Let's go see it. You want to go see it? Let's go
Sure.
see it.
Let's go right now.
Not
oh, wait.
on
Doesn't come
Christmas
out till
Day.
Christmas.
Let's see it a few days after Christmas.
Fair enough.
But yeah, all right. Well, folks, that's our podcast on fences. Charlie's gonna give us a little plug here for
That he is.
some stuff.
All right, here are some things. One thing, you can go to mttpodcast.com. There are blog posts. There are more episodes. There are comparisons. I'm going to try and update those in the next week or so. So be on the lookout for those. You can see how stupid we are. Or not stupid, because we're smart too. You can also follow us on Twitter at mttpodcast. And we will tweet out our new episodes. We might tweet out some other stuff. We might...
If you're really interested, you can say, "Hey, I saw this new trailer. Are you gonna do that on your podcast?" And we do take suggestions.
Yes. Also, you can
Ooh,
go...
we might even give you a shout out if you ask us on Twitter.
Shout it out.
We might say, "Hey, at so and so, thanks for the suggestion."
Right.
So if you like your 15 minutes of fame, seconds of fame, then do it.
Exactly. You can also go to the Entertainment Buffet YouTube channel. We also live there. You can listen to us there. There are also many sketches and other podcasts that you can view and just get lost in a YouTube wormhole for hours and hours on end.
Yeah, so check them out. It's a good time. They're buddies of ours. And yeah.
Oh, and actually, Bethany, I don't exactly know when it's going up, but you're going to be on an episode of the Entertainment Buffet podcast.
Actually, specifically Film Tweakers.
Right. Well, it's like a branch.
Yeah. So yeah, that's going to be, well, interesting.
Yeah.
Hopefully it'll be good. It's a different type of podcast than I'm used to doing. You know, it's easy with my husband because it's easy for me to talk with him. But I think that this Film Tweakers is going to be pretty exciting.
Yeah. You guys are tweaking Jurassic World.
Yeah, I was going to say Jurassic World. So basically we're going to tell you how Jurassic World could have been better. And it's a good time.
Because I thought it was terrible.
And I thought it was all right. So it's a good time. Check that out on Entertainment Buffet. It should be coming out pretty soon here.
Yeah, and if you follow the Twitter, we'll put it out there also.
Absolutely.
So thanks for stopping by.
We'll see you later.